Rain fell like silver threads on the rusting roofs of Outpost 9, a forgotten colony station orbiting a mining world no one cared to name. The place smelled of oil and coal metal, the hum of failing reactors echoing through hollow corridors. Ethan Cole, once a mechanic for the Frontier Fleet, now just a tired man fixing broken generators, lived here because nowhere else wanted him. He liked it that way, quiet, predictable, far from the wars and politics of the galaxy. But fate has a way of finding people who don't want to be found. It happened on a night shift when he heard soft crying behind the supply crates near Bay 12. He almost ignored it. This outpost was full of ghosts and sounds. But something about that cry was real. When he looked, he found two small figures huddled together in torn cloaks, shivering. Their faces were smudged with soot, eyes wide and terrified. Human girls, maybe 10 and 12. "Hey!" Ethan said, kneeling, trying not to scare them. "You lost." The older one pulled her sister close, glaring up at him with a defiant spark that reminded him of soldiers he once knew. "Don't hurt us." "I'm not gonna," Ethan said softly. "You're freezing. Come on, let's get you warm." He took them to his quarters, a small room with a flickering heater and one bunk. He gave them food from his rations, wrapped them in his old fleet jacket. The younger one fell asleep instantly, clutching his sleeve. The older one stayed awake, suspicious. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lyra," she said after a pause. "And that's my sister, Nova." "Pretty names," he said. "How'd you end up here?" Lyra didn't answer. Later, when she thought he was asleep, he heard her whisper to Nova, "Don't tell anyone who we are." They stayed. Days turned into weeks. Ethan fixed ships and machines. The girls cleaned his workshop and helped with repairs. He taught them how to weld, how to read diagnostics, how to make a fire in vacuum suits if life support failed. Lyra learned fast. Nova laughed often. For the first time in years, Ethan felt alive again. But trouble always follows the innocent. One day, a patrol ship docked, mercenaries with insignias that screamed royal contract. They were searching for runaways. They showed holograms of two children, Lyra and Nova. The notice listed them as missing property of the Varelian crown. Not people, property. Clones, probably, or heirs kept hidden. Ethan lied through his teeth. Haven't seen them. No kids here. The mercs searched, but the girls were gone, hidden in a vent he'd built during his fleet days. After they left, he turned to them. "You're royal, aren't you?" Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "Our parents were killed. They wanted to use us for the throne. We just wanted to be free." Ethan sighed. "You picked the worst place for that, kid." But he didn't send them away. Instead, he helped them disappear. He forged IDs, rerouted docking records, and smuggled them onto a trader's ship bound for the outer fringe. Before they left, Nova hugged him tight. "Will we ever see you again?" she asked. Ethan smiled faintly. "If the stars are kind." Lyra looked at him, trying to be strong. "Thank you," she said, "for everything." Then they were gone. Years passed. Outpost 9 decayed further. Ethan grew older, his hands stiffer, his eyes tired. He never heard from them again. Sometimes he wondered if they made it, if the galaxy swallowed them like it did everyone else. Then one night, the sky itself seemed to crack open. He was outside fixing a coolant pipe when the horizon lit up. A shadow fell over the outpost, massive, gleaming, silent. A ship, easily the size of a small moon, hung above. It was like nothing he'd ever seen, sleek, gold-trimmed, engines humming with energy that made his bones vibrate. The miners panicked, alarms blaring. Then a voice came through the comms. "Outpost 9, stand down. We are not here for you. We are here for one, Ethan Cole." Every head turned. Ethan froze, staring at the comm speaker. The voice was female, calm but carrying authority that silenced everyone. "Please step outside," it continued. "By order of the Royal House of Varelia." Ethan's stomach dropped. "You've got to be kidding me," he muttered. He stepped out into the rain. A column of light descended, and from it walked two women in royal armor that shimmered like starlight. Their helmets retracted, revealing familiar faces, older now, but unmistakable. Lyra and Nova. Ethan just stared. You actually made it." Lyra smiled, tears glinting. We didn't just make it. We took back what was ours. They told him everything. How they had reached the fringe, found loyalists, and learned the truth. Their parents had been murdered by a regent who wanted the throne. Lyra led a rebellion, reclaimed her title as High Princess of Aurelia. Nova became her fleet commander. The galaxy now bowed to them. And through it all, they never forgot the man who gave them their first chance to live. Lyra stepped forward and knelt, a princess kneeling before a mechanic. You saved us when no one else would. You gave us warmth, safety, and hope. You are part of our story, Ethan Cole. And now we've come to bring you home. Ethan blinked, overwhelmed. Home? Kid, this place is home. It's just rust and pipes, but it's what I got. Nova grinned. You fixed our lives. The least we can do is fix yours. Behind them, the royal ship's ramp opened, revealing a crew lined up in perfect formation. At the center stood an old flag, Varelia's crest reborn. Ethan hesitated. He looked around at the grimy outpost, the workers peering out in awe, the endless dark beyond. Then he looked at the girls, no, women, who had become everything he'd hoped for them to be. He exhaled slowly. Guess I could use a change of scenery. The crowd watched as he walked toward the beam of light. The ship's engines thrummed, casting halos of gold through the rain. Before stepping inside, Ethan turned to the miners. Keep the generators running. And don't forget to help the strays. You never know who they'll become. The ship lifted off, soaring through the clouds, vanishing into the stars. What happened next became legend. They called him the Engineer of the Crown, a common man who advised queens and designed fleets that changed galactic history. Under Lyra's rule, the Varelian Empire became a beacon of freedom rather than fear. Ethan never took a title, never sought fame. He just built, fixed, and quietly made the universe a little better. And sometimes, when he walked the palace gardens under alien moons, Nova would tease him. Still think you're not a hero? And he'd chuckle. I just fixed a heater, that's all. But Lyra knew better. No, she'd say softly. You fixed us. Years later, when Ethan passed away peacefully aboard the royal flagship, they honored him with funerals seen across 1,000 worlds. 2 queens stood together, heads bowed, as his casket drifted into the void. His name was etched in starlight beside their family crest, not as a servant, but as family. And in every ship of the Varelian fleet, on every colony that bore their banner, a simple inscription was engraved beneath the engines he designed. For the man who taught us mercy. The universe had many heroes, warriors, emperors, explorers, but few as quiet, few as kind, and none as unforgettable as a man who once helped 2 orphan girls on a dying outpost and changed the stars forever.